Good morning. Top of the morning to you. I'm Raymond Hauser, author of The Winning Advantage, Tap into Your Richest Resources. And today we're going to talk a lot about goals and things that we need to achieve in order to be happy. And we all have that one desire, and that is to be happy. And today is the day that we're going to talk about setting goals and getting rid of the bad habits that we have. It's often been said by professionals that 96% of American workers are not happy with their position, their jobs, their involvement in careers. And there's a reason for that. They don't really have any solid, well-founded goals. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. And goals are not dreams. Dreams are different. Dreams are visions. Goals are solid paths to achievement. And there is a huge difference. And it's often been said that the tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching a goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach, and that's by Benjamin Mays. Note that goals are not dreams. Yes, you may have a dream, but that is not the path to success and happiness. And goals are dreams that are made real because time and effort have gone into them. Yes, you may have a dream, but set solid footing toward that goal, making goals. It's so important to find the goals that fit you personally, not someone else. Many times we may fail because we join certain groups because friends join those groups. And you want to portray that you like that area because your friend does. In order to maintain the friendship, you stayed with it. And therefore you became unhappy because it really wasn't your destiny. It really wasn't a place that you should be. You maybe didn't know that at first. Well, it's like a surgeon, a special friend that I had. She said that her mother was a great surgeon and she dreamed of the surgery and she loved surgery. And she wanted her, as her daughter, to follow suit with surgery. Well, she attended certain meetings at hospitals, but it just wasn't clicking within her. She didn't want to be a surgeon, but she found out about computers and she loved to be working computers. And so she took a job after graduation from college in the computer world. And something hit her. Goals need to be solid. They need to be realistic, not a dream. Sometimes you may have a goal of being a contestant on a prize show, a destiny that may or may not be realistic. Well, there's no solid footing unless you have an entrance into the theater, the TV show that you have in mind. Well, friendship goals. Sometimes you hang around friends because of their goals, and so you want to be accepted. But bad habits are spiritual, and here's the reason why. Here's a quote by Charles Noble. You must have long-range goals to keep you from being frustrated by short-range failures. Yes, solid goals. We realize there will be setbacks, but as we've said before, every setback is a setup for a greater comeback, and you have to look at that. Don't look at setbacks as defeats. Don't look at them as a turning point in your life. They're a learning point in your life, not a bad point in your life. Certain bad habits can interfere with setting your goals. They might not be the habits you think, but they can be the center of physical or rather than mental habits. It can be a physical habit. Now, how do you come over these bad habits? And let's look at the bad habits that are to be challenged. One is living in the past. We think about things that happened to us in the past were not favorable. Maybe the grades that we made in school were not ones that competing with others. You might have passed, but it wasn't an achievement that would be honored. It's always the should haves. There's a lot of should haves, could have, and would haves in life, but that's not the way to set steady growth, steady realization of hard goals. Another one is focusing on the negatives. I can't do that. They'll just laugh at me. I'll never be able to achieve like what they achieve. Romancing those thoughts is a negative. It holds you back from setting solid goals. Focus on the negatives. That is not a way to achieve. Avoiding the tough stuff. That's pretty challenging. I don't know if I can do that or not. That maybe is not something I can do. And allowing lingering bad memories to post in your mind. Well, Daddy tried to do that and he wasn't successful. My brother tried to do that and I don't know how in the world I could be successful. Well, it's been quoted by Hannah More. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off the goal. That's why we say there's always should've, could'ves, and would'ves, but don't focus on them. Don't control your life by those. That's a negative. The good habits can take over your life, and it's your choice. You are meant here for a purpose. You are not an accident. You are a purpose on this life and this earth. Setting good goal is not a main thing. It is deciding how you will go about achieving it and staying with that plan. Yes, that's the difference between dreams and goals. You have a definite destination that you set in mind, and that's the way you want to go about it. Now, how do you go about achieving that? Stop listening to negative tapes, negative thoughts. Don't let them rule your life. You have control of your thinking. First step is to set realistic goals. Set a realistic goal, not a dream, but a goal of achievement that's realistic. And set ways, be persistent. Be persistent. Don't let the setbacks change your mind about your goal of destiny. You decide on what you want to do, and you have foremost in your mind to do it. Love yourself for the person that you are. You are special. There's nobody like you. Of the 7.6 billion people on this planet, nobody is exactly like you. Think about that. Think about that and realize that that is a very much of a privilege. Number 4, actively disassociate yourself from the negative. There are cold water to be tested always in life. Go ahead and test the cold waters and see what you're missing, and glad you are. And you might learn something. At the very least, you will acknowledge that you did it and that you learned something from it. You might create some thoughts by going through some things you never thought you should do. Many times I've heard about the story of the guy that was against snow skiing. He didn't want to go snow skiing because his grandmother slipped in the skis and she was damaged, broke her hip, and never recovered. Well, he went ahead and took the challenge to go snow skiing with a group of friends. No, he would never do it again, but he was glad that he did it because he learned that he could overcome the setbacks and the setups that are against him in life. For instance, a friend of mine told me about skiing always, as I said, and he will never ski again, he said, but he was glad that he did it. A business author, Philip Stevens, once said, the basic of life of goals are 4 or 5, 6 different things, and these will be good for you to list. Family, that is a good goal. Have a great family. What will you do for them? What are you going to do to add value to your family's life? This is the good way to focus on life and get away from our thoughts on ourselves. Professional thoughts. What do you really aim to achieve? What do you want to achieve? Write it down on a piece of paper. Look at it on a daily basis. What is it you want to accomplish? Number 3, the financial planning for present and the future. Set out a roadmap of financial progress. Think about the goals and the ways to achieve those goals, and think about the financial recoveries, benefits out of achieving them. Social, join some groups. Participate in certain groups with the church. Join a certain church that you believe in, the faith that you've accepted. Other groups, local organizations. There's many organizations that would love to have someone like you. Health, taking care of your health. Get involved in a workout program that you need to look at least 3 times a week. Get your mind off yourself and start developing your body. Intellectual, continuously learn. Listen to tapes the the Dale Carnegies of the world, the Vincent Peales, Cabot Roberts, the Joel Weldon, many tapes that are of inspiration that can give you thoughts with interior of yourself. And then recreational, take some time to relax. Definitely have certain time that you're going to relax. Maybe it'll be on the weekends, maybe with your family. You go to a lake, take out a boat. Many different areas. Maybe go to a ball game, football, baseball. And here's a quote by Christopher Morley, a very important quote. There are 3 ingredients in the good life: learning, earning, and yearning. Adopt those. Adopt those as part of your life. And happiness lies in the achievement of those through the efforts. Achievement and the thrill of creative efforts. And that's by Theodore Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, excuse me. A gentleman that worked in finance, I made a friend with over the decades long ago, and he rarely spent time with his family. He was so intense in the business and the job that he was doing. After achieving a great amount of money, he still was unhappy with what he was doing, and he decided that he would leave that. He had some money, a lot of money, and he wanted to leave that because he wasn't happy with the process. He had achieved his goals. Well, he went in and started a company on bicycles. He was always fascinated with bicycles, and he was always fixing bicycles along the path of success. And so he opened a bicycle shop to service others and be of value to a lot of other people, but also satisfying the goals and needs of his life. And this made him happy. When you're starting out, reconcile the engagement that you're in. Make sure those are the ones that you want to become, and that's important. And also, it's always important to look at the results as if they had already occurred. Think about what you're going to achieve and live the life mentally of those achievements. So what are we supposed to do? Says here what Mr. Hayes says. Aim at the sun and you will not reach it. You may not reach it, but your arrow will fly further and higher than if you aimed at an object on the level that you're now within. In other words, aim for the stars. You may not reach the stars, is what Thomas Watson once said, but you'll be guaranteed of not coming up with a handful of mud, he said. And that's so true. Set a new goal when you do so. As you achieve goals, go ahead and set a new one a little higher, not drastically higher, but keep on thinking of the new level of success. And always figure out a path of achieving that. Don't just think about, oh, I'm going to be a professional baseball player someday if you're in college or in high school. But think about how you're going to achieve that goal. First, you need to make the team. And then you take instruction from those that have done well. And you put your best, you put your heart into it. Yes, you're going to have some strikes thrown against you. But think about the times you made the big hits. Focus on them and let them control your life. It's been said by Robert Byrne, the purpose of life is the life of purpose. Have a purpose in your life. Don't be a wandering generality. So many people are. What you bring to the organization, ask yourself, what am I bringing to this organization? And put to the point with enthusiastic drive. And visualize what you want to achieve, like I say. As Catherine Norris once said, before you begin a thing, remind yourself that difficulties and delays, quite impossible to foresee, are ahead. We know that there will be some things that come up we cannot anticipate. You can only see one thing clearly, and that is your goal. Form a mental vision and and cling to it through thick and thin. Don't let anything discourage you from the goal just because there are setbacks or turns that were not visualized, a popular tool among athletes. Athletes always have a certain vision of how they want to be. They see themselves making hits before they ever get to the plate. and visualize that. Yes, there will be strikeouts. They know that. They accept that. And they don't let that determine their life and their goals and their ambitions. And that's the key. Don't focus on the negatives. There will be negatives. There will be setbacks. But it's up to you. Now, here's something that Marcus Seneca said. Our plans miscarry because they have no aim. When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no win is the right win. If you have no goal is important. It will only be important if you've established them in your mind. And the takeover, what is the takeover? The true worth of a man is to be measured by the objects he has pursued. What kind of challenges have you pursued? This is important. First of all, you define your goal. Clearly define your goal and where you want to be. And write it down. Visualize it. See yourself as achieving it. Be aware of the bad habits at the loop around your mind. They will prevent you from achieving your goals. Be aware of the bad habits and don't infiltrate them in your life. Number 3, adopt good habits that center on self-motivation. And number 4, visualize what you want to accomplish. Visualize it as if it has already been accomplished. And number 5, allow goals to provide a purpose, which all of us need. And here's a quote by George Lichtenberg. Never undertake anything for which you wouldn't have the courage to ask the blessings of heaven. Don't ever do anything that you wouldn't submit to heaven and get approval. And with that, you will move forward with the right peace of mind, and you will accomplish your goals eventually. Follow through on these steps of success. If you have goals and ambitions, go ahead and pick up a copy of my book, The Winning Advantage, Tap Into Your Richest Resources. And I close with a favorite little poem of mine. It's called The Fisherman's Prayer. God grant that I may live to fish until my dying day. And when my final cast I've made and life has slipped away, I pray that God's great landing net will catch me in its sweep, and in his infinite mercy, God will judge me big enough to keep. And the real question is, will he judge you big enough to keep? Visualize your last day on this earth. You're going down the highway. Will it be a one-lane road, peppered with road signs, I, me, and my? Or will it be a two-lane road? And as you pass the opposing traffic, they're waving at you. Hey, we did it. Thanks for your help. You changed our life. Will you have added value to the lives of other people? Only you have the answer. The answer is yours to keep. Thank you, and good morning. Looking forward to seeing you later. Bye-bye. Use your talents, embrace your abilities, and pick up a copy of my book. Click the link on my website, thewinningadvantage.com, and purchase one of my books on Amazon. See you next week, Tuesday, 9 o'clock.